just kind of thought about it. We could talk about the whole life jacket thing today. Story time, yeah. So how the life jacket thing started with Beta Eta Delota. The way it started was as a kid, whenever I'd go and visit Cape Cod with my folks, we'd have like a summer vacation. We'd go to this like pool area. It was a very nice location, you know, by the beach. I loved swimming as a kid. I loved swimming. Despite the whole life jacket thing, you know, I'm actually a pretty good swimmer, and believe it or not, I am certified in basic water safety. At least, you know, certified from a class that I took for PE requirements in college. So that's kind of neat. But with regards to the whole life jacket thing, used to love swimming as a kid, so I'd be around pools all the time during summers. And when, you know, the pool was crowded, you'd see a lot of people just like swimming around, some people wearing life jackets, and I'd see a lot of like other kids my age wearing these like super soft yellow life jackets. Literally the brand was called Super Soft. And I'm not gonna lie, they looked kind of cozy. Then I'd ask my mom about it, and I would be like, hey, would I be able to try one of those on one day? They look kind of fun. They look kind of neat. And she's like, oh no, honey, you know how to swim. You'd look off by wearing one. And, you know, people would make fun of me. I'm like, oh, okay, mom, fair. You know, good reasoning, mom reasoning to make sure, you know, I'm not picked on more than I already was. But it always had that place in the back of my mind as like, you know, I'd like to try floating around in a life jacket one of these days. Do I need one? No. I can float and swim just fine. And if anything, I can touch the bottom of the pool. So why would I need to wear one? But for me, it just stayed in the back of my head as just something that I wanted to try at some point. Like, it sounded cozy. It seemed like a nice hug while you were floating around in whatever water and just kind of letting your troubles and worries wash away. And this started as far back as like my early youth. I think maybe just around the double digits in age or something, probably a little bit before then. Fast forward to like when I was, I think 16 or 17 years old, and my parents had taken us to Disney. This is one of our like big trips that we did, and we were just chilling by the pool. I was just floating around, minding my own business. It was kind of an empty pool, kind of a quiet day, and my parents were just kind of missing doing whatever they were doing. I was just kind of chilling, doing my thing. And that's when I saw there was a rack of available life jackets to rent. You know, you have like the little rack of life jackets. You just pick one up, put one on, wear it, you know, rent it for like the pool and just float around. I saw that rack of life jackets and immediately thought, you know, wouldn't hurt to try this. I mean, what? Am I going to embarrass myself by wearing a life jacket in a pool? Who's going to make fun of me? People I'm never going to meet at any other point in my life in the future. And even if I do meet them again, they sure as hell won't remember this moment and think, that's the guy that wore the life jacket in the pool. Ha ha ha. And no one's going to remember that. So I thought in the moment, you know what? It can't hurt. I'm on vacation. I worked hard this last semester in school. Why not, you know, relax and try it? And if my parents, you know, catch me and yell at me, oh well, you know, what are they going to yell at me for? Staying water safe? Whatever. Eventually, after mulling it over for a little bit, I got out of the pool, went over to like the little rack of life jackets, saw one in my size, tried it on, hopped in the pool, floated around, like completely just floated on my back. And that's when I got it immediately. It was that moment where I was like, oh, so I was right. This is comfortable and cozy AF. And I didn't have to do anything either. I just laid on my back and fully enjoyed floating around. That was it. Like, I didn't have to put in any effort. I didn't have to do any of that. I just laid there in the water, floating on top, enjoying the sun, enjoying the sound of like whatever the running water in the pool, and minding my own business. And you know what? It felt awesome. It felt so goddamn fun. And that's what kind of sold it for me for enjoying the whole life jacket thing, for just enjoying life jackets. It felt so comfortable. It felt like a comforting moment. I always use the association that for me, when I've described it in the past, that it's more of an affinity. It's something that I enjoy as like a comfort item. I've always considered it that, especially, you know, in like kind of the public sort of thing. You know how at like TFF this year, when I was going around in fursuit, I had my prop life jacket on me. I was wearing it. Not gonna lie, I don't just wear it as like a prop to associate, you know, myself with Beta and Levi and the life jacket thing, you know, ha, but like it also genuinely feels like I'm getting a very familiar hug. And that is very helpful to me, especially in moments of immense socializing, immense anxiety, where in moments when I'm fursuiting around, I could be swarmed in moments. There are people that are like waiting in line to say hi to me. And so having that familiarity there, that isn't just my fursuit, but a comforting hug is nice. But back to the story, I was at Disney, tried on a life jacket, floated around in the water. It kind of sold it for me in my head of like, you know what, I like this thing. It's really nice. It makes me feel comfy. Is it weird? Absolutely. But I enjoy it. And that's it. There's nothing wrong with having something you enjoy that's therapeutic to some extent. And then eventually, you know, my parents came over, scolded me because, you know, I looked ridiculous. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And then I took it off and then went back to eat some like chicken tendies with fries. And you know what? It was a pretty good day. But I remember that moment. And then in the future, you know, if I had opportunities to float around in a life jacket in a pool, I'd do that. And that was genuinely fun. And it's just something that I kind of kept with me. You know, eventually, you know, when I made money from my job, I got my own life jacket, you know, just as something comfy to wear. And then I found myself kind of just wearing it naturally when I was at my desk working or something. I'm like, oh, this is like really secure and cozy. In moments of like uncertainty, having like a constant hug around you. That's nice and fun. But eventually, you know, time went on and the life jacket thing developed as a sort of staple onto my fursona. Originally, you know, I had like my character and then I was very, you know, apprehensive about adding it on because, you know, YouTuber, content creator, rantsona sort of thing. You didn't want to have that associated with it and, you know, give people, you know, stuff to make fun of you. But I knew that, you know, hey, if people were going to make fun of me, they were going to make fun of me regardless. More so the point is that in time, I eventually added it to my fursona with Maverick and, you know, the character stills that Ecto Drool did for me, the wonderful character stills, and that became kind of the staple of what I did. I just kind of accepted it as this weird fun thing, full send it with being a weirdo, and because realistically, there is no issue with it at all. And eventually I made the whole life jacket squad thing. I don't really know how much of a thing it is now because that was ancient times, but the life jacket thing for me has always just kind of been a staple part of my character and something that's very comfortable and personal to me. And I know I've been on and off with like showing it off and, you know, having it be a part of what I do. And that's mainly because, you know, people got upset thinking, oh, because you have an adult side to it, because, you know, the life jacket is partially a fetish on the side of it being behind closed doors. That means because you use it in public videos, IRL and all that, that you're exposing people to your fetish. I don't necessarily agree with that because I have a very clear differentiation on a time and place for when I enjoy not safe for work stuff and safe for work stuff. The life jacket thing for me does have that comfort to it, but it also has, you know, that adult side that I enjoy with it. Is it one of those things where I'm going to show that to public YouTube and Twitch stuff? No, that's what I keep behind closed doors in the appropriate adult 18 plus environments. The affinity side of it is what I put out here, and the adult, I guess, fetishy side of it is what I put on other appropriate platforms. And I think that is honestly okay to do. Pretty much the whole life jacket thing, it has its ambiguity to some extent. And I get some people's worries with it being, you know, something that I enjoy as an NSFW thing. But at the end of the day, it really just comes down to how I treat it and handle it under the proper circumstances. And that's all it can really come down to. So realistically, that is what the whole life jacket thing is and kind of why I wanted to explain it today. Because I know a lot of people were asking like, wait, Beta, why'd you put away the whole life jacket thing back when, you know, I put it away for a little bit back in April and then I brought it back so abruptly. The reason why I put it away originally was because, oh, I'm seen as weird and I'm trying to garner more of a mainstream normie audience. And when I did that, I'm gonna be honest, it felt very disingenuous. It like, I felt like I wasn't having fun and I was trying to get results rather than actually enjoy what I do. So that's why, you know, I brought it back and I still have the whole life jacket thing. And that's why I just put those two barriers, those two differentiations out there and enjoy it on the proper levels that they are. Also, I forgot another little tidbit. Shit, I forgot. So, the whole thing that got me into, I guess, the whole life jacket inflation part of it, which is more of like the ha-ha funny inflation rather than the, ooh, that's hot inflation. A Goofy movie. Remember that one scene when they're about to go fishing and then Max is put in that life jacket and then, you know, pull ripcord? I mean, yeah, like kind of obvious with that. But that was one of those movies that kind of gave me that idea too. And it's really cute and endearing because I have a lot of friends that'll revisit that movie and then they'll take a picture of that moment and send it to me on Twitter. They're like, hey, just thinking of you from this movie. And I'm like, aw, that's nice. It makes me happy. It's also a classic gag. That's just the way I see it. It's just a funny little classic gag. You know, you can be the whole haha inflation furry thing, but honestly, I just see it as a fun little gag where it's like, oh, hey, look, I'm a beach ball now. You can throw me around like the concert stadium. You can use me as like a soccer ball or something for like macro furries. That would be fun. And you know, just making funny little jokes with that. Orba Beta. Borba. Booba. It's just one of those little things where, yeah, it has ties to something that can be adult-like, fetishistic, sexual interest sort of thing. But for me, at the end of the day, I disassociate those two things in a certain place and time. You know, that's just what I do. That's why I still wear the life jacket around at cons in fursuit, because to me, it is a comfortable thing. It makes me feel comfortable and a lot less anxiety riddled when I'm out and about doing my thing. Because let me tell you, when I'm out and about in fursuit, it can get very hectic very fast. I guess fortunately and unfortunately, I'm recognizable, so a lot of people do love getting to say hi to me, which again, happy to oblige, but to me, very big social situations like that can be very overwhelming. So I look to like small little things here and there, whether it's friends nearby or handlers, a friend of mine like rubbing my back or my shoulder, that helps me a lot, or even just having like the life jacket on me when I'm going out and about. That is like a familiar hug to me. That is a familiar feeling. So that's why I have it. You know, it's like a comfort item. It has, you know, its aspects that I enjoy on the adult side. Will I go into that? No, because that's for the adult side and to enjoy it in the appropriate manner. Is it bad for me to be saying that that exists? No, not necessarily. I think if anything, it would be bad for me to ignore that and pretend it, you know, it doesn't exist. So that's pretty much the gist of the whole life jacket thing with me. I enjoy it for what it is. And you know me, the one thing that I want to do with whatever video or content that I put out there as a content creator is just be me. Put my truest form out there. And that's why I decided, you know, one day, rip the band-aid off, add the life jacket to my character. I don't care how many people, you know, make fun of me or whatever about it, because this is genuinely what I enjoy and how I want to portray my character. Regardless, I'm just living my best life and being unapologetically me. And hopefully it serves as an example for others that, hey, you know, you might have a weird thing that you enjoy, and if it is realistically harmless and all it really does is make you happy, it might seem weird to others, but it makes you happy, there's nothing wrong with it, and you shouldn't be scared of that. If anything, it allows people to, you know, like more of you too, I guess. Like, I have friends that tease me all the time about the life jacket thing, or send me, you know, clips from movies, or, you know, a goofy movie, and you know, it just, that makes me feel like they genuinely care and know, like, what it is that I enjoy. But yeah, whole life jacket thing is what it is. You can say what you want about it. I've given my truth and answers about it. More than happy to answer any questions you guys might have with it. But for the most part, yeah, that's pretty much most, if not all of it out there. There might be some things I'm missing here and there that I forgore, but it'll probably come to me at some point.